Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering some questions about me, about my work, and about a number of other things. And I seem to be joined by Apple, who likes his butt scratched. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so now. Hit that bell so you don't miss notifications of my new videos. And if you like this video, give it a paws up because it helps the algorithms. Be right back. We'll get started. And yes, Apple, I love you too. So yes, we do have a little boy helping us today. Mr. Apple is feeling very needy. He wants his blanket, which he'll get after I do the video. Doesn't he have the most beautiful eyes? Yeah, you've got beautiful eyes. Look at that tongue. Okay. Today I thought I would answer some questions. Basically a Q&A from my readers. So I have got a bunch of questions that I'm going to go through. And yeah, which one should we answer first? What do you think? Okay. Sarah asks me, are you a constant coffee drinker, like a lot of your characters are? And what is your favorite? Oh, the stories I could tell you about coffee. Truth is, I'm not anymore. I was never a constant coffee drinker in terms of all day, but my drink of choice used to be a quad shot latte every morning and every afternoon, which means 8 shots of espresso a day. And my favorite flavors are chocolate and peppermint, and I use the sugar-free chocolate and peppermint syrups now. I now have to be careful because of the MCAS. A lot of coffees can react on me, but I have found one that has been tested to be free of mold and additives and other things like that. And I usually drink 2 shots of caffeinated coffee a day, well, in a latte. And sometimes I let myself have a couple shots of decaf in the afternoon. I make my lattes with coconut milk and with sugar-free coffee syrup and ice, lots of ice. Look at that paw. We like ice. Well, I like ice. Apple, actually, Apple likes ice too. Whenever I drop an ice cube on the floor, he wants to go play with it. So sometimes I just take a spare ice cube and throw it down for him and let him bounce it around till I'm done fixing my latte in the morning, and then I put it in the water fountain. So, yeah, you're a good boy. Oh, they do take our attention, don't they? So yes, I do love. Now, here's the thing. I don't love the taste of coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee. I like the taste of coffee in the coconut milk, along with the sweetener, the sugar-free syrup. I like the buzz, is what I like. I always love the buzz. And I don't get the same caffeine buzz off, say, diet soda or, like Diet Coke or anything like that. It doesn't seem to affect me. It's the caffeine in the coffee that affects me. So yeah, my characters reflect my fond memories of being able to drink far more caffeine than I can now. Oh, Heza asks, what are your favorite makeup lines for foundation, shadows, and liners? A get ready with me video would be very cool, but not sure if you're comfortable with that. I thought about doing one of those, and I may still. Here's the thing about makeup. Once again, when we took the house completely gluten and nut free, and I started developing reactions to nuts, and I've always had reactions to gluten and wheat. So I had to change my makeup lines. I used to use Urban Decay and MAC for the most part. And I can't use those anymore because they're definitely problematic for me, for my reactions. So I experimented around. I found several lines that are safe, and then I tried them out to see what I liked. And I really love, like for my lip colors, I love Dose of Colors and Makeup Forever. And they make lip lacquers that stay on long term. So those are my two favorites for lip lacquers. This one is, I think it's called Purple Rain, and it's by Dose of Colors. And then for eyeshadow, I have really fallen in love with ColourPop. I absolutely love ColourPop. I love the intensity of their shadows and their Super Shock shadows. Um, I like the feel of them. Um, I'm wearing their Blue Moon collection today. I like the feel of the shadow, and I like the wearability. I've started using their foundation too, because they have a foundation light enough for my skin. I have very pale skin, and it's hard to find a foundation that's light enough for my coloring. So I use their foundation and powder now, and their concealer, and I like all of them. And they're one of the nice things. They're made in America. I like the fact that they're made within the country, and I really like the fact that they are inexpensive and safe for me. Um, of course, if you have other allergy problems, you would want to check their listings. So that's what I use. I use ColourPop for my eyes, and on my eyebrows, I like a thin brow, so I'm constantly plucking my eyebrows to get the shape I like. And then I use either a shadow or a colored eye pencil that kind of matches my eyeshadow over them. I use blue eyeliner pencil. I use purple because it also helps match my hair, and I like that look. I'm not worried about looking natural. If I wanted to look natural, I wouldn't wear makeup. I like makeup. I like having a strong look with it. And I do sometimes veer into runway makeup in terms of the sort of extreme. But for me, it's fun. It's a playground. It's something I really enjoy doing, and that I can still do. So it's one of my pampering things. It's one of my self-care. Um, so yeah, ColourPop for my eyes, Dose of Colors and Makeup Forever for my lips, ColourPop now for my face and foundation and powder. Um, I also use eyeshadow primer, and a friend of mine makes it. Um, she doesn't have a line out there to sell, but she can make an primer that I can use. So those are my main brands. I do use some Tarte. I use Tarte mascara because that's the one that doesn't make my eyes tear up. I also I like a few of Tarte's colors. They tend to run in the more neutral shades in terms of browns and taupes and stuff. And those colors look horrible on me. They make me look like I'm sick, like I'm on my deathbed practically. So I steer away from their eyeshadows simply because the colors don't match my coloring usually. However, I have to say, I love the smell of Tarte. I know that sounds crazy, but they smell like chocolate. And you can see how impassioned I get about the subject. So maybe I will do a groom with me or, get ready with me video sometime showing you how I do my makeup, because I've had a lot of comments about it. Of course, for nails, I go to my nail lady, which I'm not doing right now. Staying safe, staying home. I look forward to when I can get back to going to her salon. But right now, we can't, and so I'm dealing with it. As far as my hair, I'm maintaining my mermaid hair. fairly well. You can still see the blues because I bought some overtone. I checked the ingredients and nothing seemed to be dangerous for me. So I bought some in extreme blue and I think ultraviolet, and I'm really liking it. It's a conditioner and you leave it on a little like you would a hair dye. It doesn't color my gray as well, and you can't see my gray from here. Trust me, I have silver. I have lots of silver. But I'm going to leave it on longer this time, and we'll see if it works. But I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and it really did amp up like the blues and the purples in my hair. So I really like that. So overtone works. I know that some people say you can make your own. Frankly, I don't want to deal with it, so, you know, it was just easier for me to buy it. Next question. Let's see. Oh, Alexa asked, what are your favorite makeup products these days, and what are you doing for self-care or cozy routine through the pandemic? Well, I just answered the makeup, so I answered that part. What I'm doing for self-care. I am doing yoga every night. I generally do my yoga before dinner because I find I get it done that way. And I'm not usually having a reaction at that point if I'm lucky. I've been doing it every night for about 3.5 to 4 weeks now on a regular daily basis, 30 to 50 minutes a day. It is helping a great deal. And as I said in my video that I put out last time, I'm not doing power yoga. I'm not doing hot yoga. I'm not doing anything that pushes my body too much, but I'm doing enough to release the stress and release the tension. And afterwards, I feel so much calmer. And it's helping me make some clear decisions about things like what I need to avoid or what I need to draw back from. After my yoga session, I spend a little time in savasana, which is basically a pose where you're mainly laying down. And I'm doing it on the bed because my allergies don't care for the dust gathers on the floor. So I'll lay there after my session, just stretching out and just letting my mind calm down, just ease back into the evening. And I'm finding that I'm beginning to make some connections and hear inner messages of, I need to do this, I need to not do that, I need to watch this, I need to be careful, stuff like that. It's been a big help, and I'm hoping to make it such a habit that by the time the shelter in place ends, I'll still be doing it every day because it's so good for me. I also try to take some time outside when I can. We have a wonderful yard. Unfortunately, the pollen has been kicking my ass lately. I go outside and 10 to 1 I'll have a reaction that night if I spend any amount of time outside at this point. But I do try to get some fresh air. I'm just taking things one day at a time. I play with the cats, and I listen to music, and I watch shows. Yes, I am watching Married at First Sight right now. Now, you wouldn't think I normally would. I'm not the type who normally watches like The Bachelor or anything, but I've got a weird obsession with this show right now. It just fascinates me. Who would put themselves through an arranged marriage? And, it's interesting because sometimes it seems to work, and the divorce rate is high anyway. I mean, it's all a crapshoot to some degree. But I do have this weird obsession with that show for right now. And I'm hoping that Netflix gets a second season of Lock and Key, but it probably won't happen till next year. So I'm just waiting and watching Top Chef. I'm playing a lot of solitaire. I go through phases with that, and I'm also ramping up my playing Sims 3 again. I just bought some expansion packs. So I'm playing those games. And of course, I'm doing my work, I'm writing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for comfort. Maura asks me, What is your favorite food and drink right now? I have very little variation. I don't get many favorites anymore, to be honest. They're most of my favorite foods I can't eat. Um, so, or at least I can't for the time being. I'm hoping someday to be able to integrate them back into my diet, but I'm drinking a lot of Cascade ice. I eat more for fuel now because while I do like the foods I eat, they aren't my favorites. And so it's like, it's more of a utilitarian thing for me now. I focus more on my makeup and clothing and stuff because food is no longer something I can really enjoy. And yes, you may have noticed in my books I write about food a lot. And part of that is missing my favorites, so at least my characters can eat. And also, I really get pissed when I read books where women don't eat, and when I watch shows where women don't eat. It's like they pick at a salad or, something like that, and it's like, sorry, my characters are gonna eat. They need the fuel. They like food. They're not going to sit there and whine about their weight. Um, Hello, Kaylee. Kaylee is now here to say hi. Hello, Pumpkin. Come here. Come here. Say hi to the people. Say hi to the nice people. Yes. And yes, I do talk and baby talk to my kitties. That is something that they just get. Kaylee says hi. She's like, Mom, stop. So yeah, I don't really have a favorite food or drink right now. If I, the thing that I wish I could eat right now, more than anything, tomatoes. They were my favorite food in the world. But they are high histamine, and so far, while I've been able to integrate a few higher histamine foods back in my diet, they haven't been one of them yet. So I'm working toward it. I'm hoping to be able to get my body to where it can handle it. I've noticed the yoga is helping me stave off some reactions, and so I'm hoping that that will help eventually. Now, let's see. Rebecca asks, can you tell us how you and Samwise got together? I have told this story before, but let's see. When I was 30, I was living in a school bus, a converted school bus, and I was on the back end of 5 acres. Nobody could have heard me scream if anything happened, so I slept with a hatchet by my head. And yeah, I was squatting there along with some friends who were squatting in a house in the front. A corporation owned the 5 acres. They weren't even in the United States. We decided it was a lovely place to stay, and I had quit my job because I couldn't stand working for the state anymore, and taken my cats at that time and my books and my crystals and got rid of everything else, and I moved into a converted school bus, and I was living there in the chill and the cold and it was an adventure. I was reading tarot for a living, professional tarot reader, and I didn't have running water, and well, I had a hose nearby. I took my showers under a cold hose, and I would go over to friends a couple times a week to take a bath, hot bath, which was a welcome change. I mean, lukewarm was nice at that point. Um, I learned how to wash my hair under cold running water. I had a porta potty, which I learned how to clean out. Not a lot of fun people, I'll tell you that. And I basically lived out there in the back, in this little grove of trees. And I was doing a lot of thinking because I'd left my ex. And I'd been away from him for a while. But I finally came to a point. Oh, she lives her mom. I finally came to a point where I decided it was better to be alone than to be with someone who hurt me like my ex, who had beat me up before I left and emotionally been abusive for years. And I finally came to a point where I decided I would never compromise my essential self for anybody else again. So, shortly after that, the corporation found out that all of us were living on the land, ordered us off. I had to move. My friend, Rich, said, "You can come live with me. My roommate won't mind." I was like, "I've met your roommate once. I don't think he liked me." And Rich was like, "Oh no, he likes you. It's fine. As long as you're not a smoker." And I was like, "That's good, because smoking's a deal breaker for me too." So I moved in with my friend Rich and his roommate Sam. Well, all that first week, I noticed that Sam kept looking at me. Sam, I'd look up and he'd be staring at me, but it didn't feel creepy. It didn't feel creepy like it did with other guys. And Sam would come in and help me do dishes when I was doing some dishes. And Sam kept asking questions as to, "So, are you and Rich together?" "Not really. Kind of. No. Maybe." It was one of those really bizarre relationships. And then it was like, "Well, why don't you have a boyfriend? I'm sure you could have any boyfriend you want." I was like, "Well, tell that to the guys." Yeah, not finding that out. Um, so we, spent the entire week just playing games and chatting and talking. And he was thrilled when he found out that I liked to read books. And he loved my kitties that I had at the time. Or kitty. At that point, I was down to my Keter. And yeah, and Rich left for the weekend. And within the space of that time, Sam and I ended up together, living in his room, and 2 months later he asked me to marry him. And I said yes. And we got married on Beltane the next year. He asked me to marry him on December 8th. We'd gotten together the first week in October. When he asked me to marry him, it was so funny because we were laying in bed and he looked worried, and I was like, "Everything okay?" And he was like, "I've got a question I've got to ask you or my head's going to explode." And I was just like, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." So at least I'm thinking that. And I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" And he was like, "Well, I've been thinking about hand fasting." And I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "Would you join with me?" And I just laid there and I was like, "Are you asking me if I want to get hand fasted with you?" And he's like, "Mm-hmm." And then I'm like, "Should you mean you want to get married?" Because hand fasting and marriage, they're similar, but their marriage is more of a legal thing. And he's like, "Mm-hmm." And I'm like, "Which one?" "Either. Both." And then he said, "I just know I want to grow old with you." And having been hurt so much in the past, I would have expected, for me to just hesitate. We'd only known each other 2 months. But the first thing out of my mouth was yes. It was just like that gut instinct, yes, this is right. So we got engaged on December 8th. He formally proposed to me on bended knee on the solstice that year. And we got married the next Beltane. And we've been together since, well, we got together in October 1992. So we've been together 28 years and married almost 27. In fact, our anniversary is May 1st. So, yeah. And yeah, this year we spend our anniversary in lockdown. And it's okay. We've renewed our vows twice now. Once in 2000, no, once in 2000. And then on our 25th wedding anniversary, We got married again. So we've gotten married 3 times the charm. And yeah, we're still happy, and everything is better than it keeps growing better. And Sam keeps saying, I feel like I'm just getting to know you. And we're very private people in a sense. We aren't very clingy. We have our own interests. We have our own things we do. And it works. So there's the answer to some of your questions. There were a couple more that I'll get to later. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. So tell me, what's the oddest way you met a partner or a friend? What is the weirdest way you ever came to be in somebody else's life? And is that person still in your life? Let me know in the comments below. And as I said, if you like this video, please give it 2 paws up, because that is a very good thing for me. And we'll talk to you next time. Magical video next time, and I think it's going to be based off another question, which is making magical tools. So, and Caly is definitely getting bored now. Have a great week, peeps. Be safe, stay safe, social distance, all that. Be good, and I'll talk to you later.